I thought I'd be spending this week focusing on setting up my marketing funnel, but instead, I've been fighting with Google. My Google business profile has been suspended, and when I tried to set up ads, they also flagged me for advanced verification. So until I get this cleared, the business is basically invisible online, and that wasn't the plan, obviously, but it's where I'm at. Hi, my name is Mark, and I'm building a garage door business completely from scratch in public, and my goal is to see if I can turn this into a $1 million company in 6 months starting from January 2026. And in every episode, I'm going to share what I'm doing, the real numbers, what I'm learning along the way, the wins and the losses. And today, I want to take you behind the scenes with my struggle with Google. Why it matters for trades businesses to have a Google business profile, and what actually happened with the suspension and the advanced verification, and what I'm doing about it while I wait for them to verify that I'm an actual legitimate business. So, here's the deal. For local services, trades businesses, home services businesses, Google is pretty much everything when it comes to marketing. Think about it. When someone breaks something in their home and they need to get someone and repair it, they don't just ask a neighbor, they don't scroll Instagram, they Google it, and then they check for reviews. And if we're not there, we essentially don't exist. And you're going to argue and say, well, what about Facebook? And what about Bing? And all of these other things. And yes, those are great. But if we don't exist on Google, then we really don't exist, period. So we're not there right now, and we don't exist. And here's the kicker. When a garage door breaks, it's urgent. It's not like buying a couch where you can kind of shop for a while. When the door doesn't open, people need help now. So when something like this happens for a business like mine, it's kind of end of days. Now, fortunately, I'm in a lucky position because we haven't officially launched yet, but I was hoping to get things set up. And so this is kind of why showing up on Google is life or death for businesses like mine. So when my Google business profile got suspended, it kind of felt like someone had hit me in the stomach and I had lost my breath, or like cut the power to my business before I even flipped the switch. Because essentially, no Google, no leads. In a second, I'm going to explain why Google flags industries like locksmiths and garage doors for extra scrutiny in the United States and in Canada. But before I do, please like and subscribe on this video. It would mean the world to me, and I would certainly appreciate it. It helps the algorithm, helps that whole thing. I'm not actually sure how it works. I just know that it helps. So here's what's actually happening. I set up a Google business profile, as you do for these sorts of things, added hours, listed a few services, verified the basics, put in a description that said, hey, opening soon, here are the things that we're going to be doing, and I thought I was good. And then, out of nowhere, a couple of weeks later, with no explanation really, I was suspended. Like, no explanation, no reason. The reason that they gave was like super vague. Like, you have put falsified information. Well, that's can't be true because we haven't done anything yet. So I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. Then at the same time, I was setting up a Google Ads account so I could start driving traffic towards a funnel that I'm building. But instead, I got flagged for something called advanced verification. Here's the part that most people don't know. In Canada, I think it's true for the US as well, but in Canada, locksmiths and garage door companies are basically on Google's watch list. I didn't know this. I only found out about this recently. Why does this happen? Because it looks like historically there have been some less than reputable businesses out there basically scamming people. And so some people got scammed, some companies got charged insane amounts, and there were people and companies who pretended to be local when they were not. And so now, because of that, Google requires these companies in these industries to jump through extra hoops. You've basically got to prove who you are, prove that you're legitimate, before they'll let you advertise anything or even exist, essentially. And look, I get it, right? You got to protect customers and you got to protect users. That's Google's job. It has to show the right information. But for someone like me who's just starting out, it feels like I hit a brick wall right at the starting line. So I've got to figure this out. Maybe you could tell me if you've run into a similar problem. Have you ever had your Google business profile suspended or had to go through advanced verification? How long did it take? Comment below, share your experience. I'd love to hear what other people have gone through. But here's what's tough. I've set a very aggressive goal for this business, and every week, every month counts, like a lot. So losing time like this, and it's already been more than a week, is kind of catastrophic, because waiting on Google feels like it takes forever. It's kind of like training for a marathon and then showing up to the start line and then being told, sorry, you can't run yet. We need to check your shoes first. It sort of kills the momentum. And when you're trying to build a business, momentum in every area of planning and preparation is everything. It really matters, because you got to keep going fast, because you got to keep the momentum up. The truth is, this is part of the grind, right? Like, if it wasn't Google, it would have been something else. It would have been insurance paperwork or a supplier delay or something. This is the part of business that no one talks about. It's hitting those roadblocks, and every business hits roadblocks. This just happens to be mine right now. It could be something new next week. It's just what happens. This is what startups are like. So here's what I'm doing about it. I appealed the decision on the Google business profile and was rejected. I don't know why. They didn't give me a reason. They said the same things. So I had to seek out advice from friends who have been in SEO and been working with Google for a long time to say, hey, what do I do here? Where do I go from here? I called a bunch of places, and I called this company called WhiteSpark, which manages your listings all across all of your different business listings online. Great organization, really, really good, would really recommend them. I'm probably going to sign up for their services. And they recommended someone to help me. I contacted that person, I told her my situation, and now, thankfully, thank God, she's helping me. But that person that I've tasked with helping me, that has thankfully taken on my case, is also a Google Diamond level product support person, which apparently is the right level that you need to be at to even get noticed by Google, because they probably have tons of these things happen all the time. So this person's helping me. Basically what I have to do is provide a bunch of verification to Google to say, I'm a real company, here's where we're based, this is our location, this is what we do, all of that kind of stuff. So I have to compile all of this information, send it to Google, and then wait to see what happens. Now, while I wait, I'm working on the parts that I can control. The website, the early version of the website is live. It's not flashy, but it's something that I can at least point people towards. We're going to start working on flyers and yard signs soon. Kind of old school, but at least I can get my name out into neighborhoods. We've started doing free inspections, so I'm doubling down on practicing while I'm building trust with family and friends. And I have a lot of really good family and friends that have very kindly helped me to practice on their garage doors. And maybe Facebook ads. Not as powerful as Google, because let's just face it, it's not as powerful as Google, but still worth doing. So I'll look into Facebook ads probably next week or end of this week. Now, are these perfect? No, but at least they keep me moving. And honestly, maybe this is good. Maybe being forced to wait is kind of buying me time to get sharper, practice more, all of those kinds of things. The reality is that this is just sort of the way it is when you're starting up a business. There is always going to be roadblocks that occur. And so this is just what it is. It's just one of those things. In the next episode, I'm going to go a completely different direction. I'm not really sure what I'm going to talk about yet, but I'm glad that I've been able to share at least this with you so you can see what the reality of starting a business is like. And so that's where I'm at. Instead of setting up my funnel properly, I'm fighting with Google, and it's very frustrating, but it's also real life. You know, when you start a business, there's always things that are outside of your control. The key is to keep moving. Keep moving on the stuff that you can control and that you can move forward with. That's it. Have you ever fought with Google? Have you ever had your Google business profile suspended? Were your ads ever blocked? Comment below with your story. Let me know. I'd love to hear what's going on. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe if you want to see whether I can actually turn this garage door business into a $1 million company in 6 months. Either way, you'll see it all right here. Thanks so much.